Well, I'm doing something a little different. I'm doing a track review. I think I've only done maybe one or two of these in my past, but hey, we're back again. Now, normally I don't do these track reviews because I like to listen to an album in its entirety. I don't like listening to a single track or a single from an album because it doesn't have the context that's needed for it. It's almost like reviewing a movie based on the trailer. But hey, these things get views, so that's why I'm here. So Steven Wilson put out a new track representing his, I think it's called the Future Bites album. So we've got Personal Shopper, all in caps. So it's like, Personal Shopper! I'm sure he would love to see that kind of representation on it. Had to listen to this track this morning, gave it a couple spins, and I am really, really digging it. I'm really liking it. I'm liking it more than anything from his last album of To The Bone. And I'm going to do my best not to compare the two because really this sounds more like the No Man album that came out earlier last year, or I guess late last year. It came out in the fall. And that one actually was one of my favorite albums of the entire year. I love how like synthwave it is by modernizing it. It's almost techno in certain respects. It's very much more industrial as well. I like how dark it feels because this is much more of that accessible poppy music that I think Steven Wilson's trying to get at with To The Bone, where it's much more, as I mentioned, accessible, it's much more poppy, it's danceable, it's very catchy. Gone are the days of the avant-garde, experimental, well, I mean, it's still very experimental, but that, you know, Raven That Refused to Sing or Hand Cannot Erase, very proggy aspect. Like there's progressive tendencies on this, but it's much more in the vein of, say, Fatboy Slim or Daft Punk, like those danceable club house sounds, like almost EDM in certain respects without actually breaching right into that. It's not music just to dance to. Like obviously it's Steven Wilson, so there's going to be a message behind it. And that message in this case is to a certain extent, like the Personal Shopper, but it is very much more of the consumerism, commercialization, not necessarily capitalism, but much more of the consumer aspect of it, like buying excessively. And whenever an artist is doing this kind of a messaging, I do wonder if they are criticizing the actual people that are buying it, right? It's like, you only buy in access. You only buy those scented candles or the teeth whiteners or these things you don't really need. Do we really need your music then? Like, if that's the messaging that you're kind of playing with, and it's very much like the only buy the essentials. You don't need all this stuff. You're wasting your money. You're wasting your time. What am I doing with this? Because, I mean, I do recognize that music is, in certain respects, a luxury. And now, with all the streaming services, you can listen to these items for free. But if you want to listen to it in any kind of quality, you are still going to be spending money. So, like, you're kind of raging against the machine that you're working for in that sense. Yeah, anyway, getting back to the music. I love the fact that it's a long song. I love the fact that it's almost 10 minutes. It really gives us time to get into the track, to get our legs stretched out into the track. I love that it actually reprises the main theme at the end, especially when it gets into this spoken word aspect where this woman is talking about all these different items, as I mentioned already, the scented candles, the teeth whitener. And it brings it back into that very catchy, very hummable, very danceable movement. Like when I was listening to the song for the second time, I was literally dancing around my kitchen being like, yeah, dance, 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 dance. So that was a lot of fun. This song is a lot of fun, even though it deals with some pretty downer messaging. I mean, that's a really interesting blend where it's a very fun track dealing with some not so fun aspects of it. So yeah, that's what I gotta say. I really enjoyed this track and I'm really excited for the album. As I mentioned before, I don't normally review tracks, so I'm not gonna give it a rating because I don't have the context of which to put the track into. So I'm gonna hold off on my rating. What I can say is that I had a great time with it. I'm excited to listen to it again, and I'm really excited to listen to the album. Like, this has whet my thirst for it. So yeah, that's about it for Personal Shopper from Steven Wilson for his upcoming album, The Future Bites. What did you guys think of it? Have a listen to it. If you haven't, go for it. If you're kind of like me and you don't like listening to singles before the album comes out, hold off and let me know of your full thought of it when the album comes out. So, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.